Hello everyone, welcome back to Fanblade. This week we are milking it for one more episode. That's right, the cheap base is going to get some bling. We are going to add LEDs to it, and that requires hollowing out a large section under the pickguard, and that requires taking the entire thing to bits. These are the LEDs I'm going to be using. These are just from the local hardware store. I think pack's about $17 or something. Comes with a lot of unnecessary plastic. That's totally unnecessary. You get the manual. You get a double-sided sticky pad. You get the LEDs and some batteries. This stuff is great. If you've never used these before, you can pretty much stick them anywhere. You can funkify your fridge. You can have a rave with your rabbit. Or you can bling your bandsaw. Disclaimer, do not bling your bandsaw, it's a very, very stupid idea. Installing these in a base, or absolutely anywhere you want, is very, very simple. You can just cut that. Cut that to any length you want. And now you can just use little link wires to join those together in pretty much any shape or combination you want. You'll notice they are labelled blue, red, green, and positive. Don't mess the positive ones up. You can switch around the red, green, or blue ones to get different effects. That means that whereas this strip would be lighting red, this strip might be lighting green if you've connected the wire. I marked out a spot on the back for the battery pack and then set about marking the front. I had to leave about a centimetre's margin around the inside of the pickguard just to leave the screws some wood to bite into. Once I had it all marked out, it was time to take it to the drill press and hog out a lot of material with a Forstner bit. I shouldn't have to say this, but just in case anyone's thinking of it, you don't do this to a vintage fender. I'm still no closer to finding out what type of wood this base is made of. It's extremely light, but when I started working with it, it smelled absolutely dreadful. Kind of peppery, not sweet, and very irritating. Not very pleasant at all. My original intention was to leave as much of the neck pocket intact as possible to make the base as stable as possible, but as I was routing out the little channel that I had intended to cut, the whole side of the neck pocket just splintered out, so I thought I'll just clean that up and leave it as was. working out the arrangement of the LEDs inside the body was a pretty difficult task. It was a lot more complicated than I thought it was going to be, because the LEDs are spaced about an inch apart on the tape, and I had to find ways to fit enough in. The tape itself doesn't bend. You can't twist it sideways, so all of the tape had to be laid in straight lines with all of the LEDs as evenly spaced as possible. Then I had to remove the rubber waterproofing from the ends where the contacts were, then I had to tin the contacts, and then I had to solder all the wires on. This actually took a lot longer than I was expecting. I was kind of anticipating that it was going to take me about 40 minutes to an hour. This actually took about 2 hours to do. So if you're going to do this yourself, then yes, set aside that time. Don't rush. Don't get any short circuits between the contacts. It'll take a while, but you will get there. Joining all the strips together, I'm just using speaker wire. I actually found some that was exactly the right size, and it allows me to strip and tin 2 sets of wire at the same time, which effectively cut my workload in half, although this still took a heck of a long time. I am finished wiring it up. I've genuinely not tried to switch it on yet. So I don't know if this is going to work. This will be fun. It's got a little indent switch in there. It says that it's set to on. No, that's set to off. So we'll switch that on. Ooh! How does it look? Oh, they're all working. Does this switch work? Yes, that switch works. Oh, good. Oh, good. Obviously you can still see the inside, so I'm going to airbrush a little burst around there. My preferred paint for using in the airbrush is actually enamel paint, and I found a cheap source of test pots for enamel paint is nail polish. It can be thinned down with acetone for spraying, and it's really fun to see the look on the faces of the people who work at the dollar store when I walk in and buy 15 bottles of black nail polish. I don't know what they think I'm doing, but I'm not going to explain anything to them. I'd rather let them guess. Once the nail polish is dried, you can brush away the overspray with a dry cloth. There'll always be a little bit of overspray there. You just wipe that away and everything comes up nice and clean. Alright, now this bass still has one major problem to overcome, and that is the problem of the body being so amazingly light that we've got a severe case of neck dive. So the way we fix that is by either shifting the pivot point here, that's the centre of where it's pivoting, is the strap there. Because this body is so light, we've actually got room to add weight to it down this end, and it's going to shift the centre of gravity that way, which will stop that from happening. Now, there's a really, really simple fix for that, and it involves no added weight to the instrument. What we're going to do is add weight to the strap. I have here an old hammerhead. I will simply thread that onto the strap. See, that's just hanging by my side, and that's not going to fall. I've added maybe half a pound to the weight of this bass, and it's not going to ever move on me. It'll stay more or less wherever I put it. And I haven't hurt the instrument at all. I might hurt myself with that digging in, but I can make sure that edge is nice and blunt later. In fact, I might do that now. I've got a gig in 20 minutes. So the last thing to do is change the strings, because these strings that came on it are terrible. They haven't really lasted very long. That's to be expected, I suppose. I'm going to put on this set of Diodario XLs. They're 45 to 105. They're nicely balanced. They sound good. They last a long time. I just like these strings. I'm used to them. I've been playing them for years, never had a problem with them. Okay, so after a few minor tweaks to the setup, we are ready to go to the gig. There you have it, the world's cheapest bass turned into a serious funk machine. It's light, it's versatile, it looks elegant and or tasteless, It, it's probably the single most versatile instrument I have. It's not exactly my favourite one because I do still love my Fender Jazz, but this instrument is very definitely going into the rotation of regular basses that I will use. All up, I think I spent not quite 300 New Zealand dollars, I think that's about 230 US, so really, you cannot complain. If you're going to buy one of these cheap basses, do know that you're going to have to do things to it, but I do recommend them. I would also like to recommend Alan Erickson's YouTube channel. He is the cameraman who is currently filming my band. I'd also like to recommend my band, Sign of the Firebird. You can check us out on Facebook. And that's about it for this video, this series, and actually this year. I'm going to take a few weeks off over Christmas and New Year's. The band is getting very, very busy. But I've got a lot of good projects lined up for next year, and I'll get a head start on filming some of those so that I can bring them to you in fine style and with as much entertainment value as I can. Thank you very much for joining me this year. I'll see you next year. Don't let gravity get you down.